Hi, welcome back. In our last two videos, we looked at the cognitive processes of paying attention and of understanding. This video is going to talk about judgment. I want to talk about how these things are related. Human cognitive process only happens when we have some kind of a conscious desire to know, when there is a curiosity or a wonder or some suspicion or something that makes us suddenly focus from the flow of consciousness or from just the movement of sense perception. Something grabs our interest and we go, and we start to pay attention and we focus. And the reason that we focus and listen or pay attention is that we might go, aha, I understand, I see what this is. And those processes of paying attention to sense data or to listening to a lecture or whatever it is, in order to then go, I get it, I grasp a content, I understand, say, a state of affairs or a situation or the color of a test tube, or I understand some story someone's telling me. That's a separate process from whether what you're understanding is understood correctly, whether it's true, whether it's false, or whether it's partially true or probably true. The question of, but is this true? Or have I comprehended this correctly? Or am I seeing the data validly? That's a separate question from understanding. That's a question for judgment. So understanding is a question like who, what, where, when, why, the kinds of questions that give us a content. Judgment is a different kind of question. Judgment reflects on a content, asking or wondering, but is it true? Or is it false? Or have I understood this correctly? Or how am I sure? And that question doesn't give you more content. It either affirms or denies the content that you've grasped through an act of understanding. So judgment is something that we do it all the time, and we also refrain from doing it all the time. If you have a trusted friend that you speak to and who's sharing stories or how they're feeling or something that happened to them yesterday, you're not constantly evaluating, am I being lied to, or is this true, or can I trust this person? You understand, you pay attention, you understand, and you receive what they tell you, and you hold it as a belief. You believe it. You don't know it, you believe it. But if you were to say, I wonder if that really did happen the way you're describing it. Now you're moving to judgment and to the process of critical reflection on what you've heard, on what you've understood. And then there are different ways that we go to verify that. And I can't get into all the different ways that we verify or come to a valid judgment. But I'm going to tell you the two primary elements that we use. To answer a question for judgment, a question like, is it really the case? Is it indeed the case? We use two things: rational proofs, arguments and proofs and deductions, and we use an appeal to evidence. Go look at the evidence that would support the claim, that would make it true or false. Proofs and evidence. And this provides us with sufficient reason to say, yes, I think this is valid indeed. So here's just a quick example. If I say, ask a question for understanding, I pay attention to the fact that you come through the door at 1 a.m, and I say, how come you're coming home so late? And you say to me, I had a flat tire. You've answered a question of why. Why did you come home late? With a content. The content you told me is a flat tire. And I can understand that question has been answered with content, but I can also say, is it really the case that you had a flat tire? How would I ever affirm that question? Well, one is to just go out and maybe look, and you drove home on that flat, and there's a flat tire right there, and I've appealed to the evidence of the senses. Or you might say, well, here's the Visa bill that I paid the tow truck guy who came and fixed the flat for me, and I moved on, and there it is, and it tells you a flat and it costs you this much, and this would also be evidence to affirm. So judgment is a different kind of question from a question for understanding. And it's only at the act of judgment that we get to the judgment of fact or value, that something is true or something is false, or in between, like maybe or probably or I don't know. So a fact question or a question of judgment will always lead to a judgment of fact or of value. The judgment of value is that something is good, bad, better, worse, or worthwhile. Those are also judgments. And we can talk about that at another time. Thank you very much.